Hey y'all, this is Jen with Sassy Southern Insy Girl, and I've been getting quite a few requests from some of you guys to do another Scripture Sunday. I know it's been a while, and I'm sorry about that. Sometimes I have a hard time, and I haven't done one since June 30th. You can see that's my last one. Sometimes I have a hard time coming up with that's not the right words. Sometimes I have a hard time feeling led to talk to you guys about stuff, and then sometimes I feel really led. So when I don't feel really led to share things, I kind of don't, and maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I should just do something anyway. Like this one, all I did was draw and write and talk to y'all. But as I was sitting here again, I was actually going to talk about something different. I was going to talk about the sermon that I heard at church today because it really resonated with me. And then at the last minute, something else came to me, and it was about hard times. And probably because I'm getting ready to go through some really hard times, it's getting ready to be just me and my 15-year-old, soon to be 16-year-old, and my pup Jack. And I don't know, maybe that's why. Maybe God's trying to reassure me that everything's going to be okay. But at any rate, I'm going to go with it because that's what I felt led to do. So we're going to talk about hard times. And, if you're like me, you've probably been through a lot. So I'm 50. I'll be 51 in December. And I feel like I've been through a lot in 50 years. I've had some health scares. Both my grandmas, both my grandpas, my father. I've lost a cousin. I've lost, friends. I've been through several deployments with my husband. Life's not always hunky-dory. My kids have gone through stuff. It's, life is hard, and it can cause stress. It can cause, doubt. It can cause fear. It can cause anxiety and depression and, all those things. And it's hard. And I don't know anybody that enjoys going through hard times. We tend to avoid hard times if we can. But the Bible tells us that even as we walk through hard times, God is with us. But a lot of times God is like trying to teach us something through those hard times. So we go through trials, temptations, but God never leaves us. It might feel like it, but He really doesn't. And, sometimes it's hard to see that. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. So in James chapter 1, verse 12, God says, or it says, I don't know who was writing. James was writing. But blessed is the one who perseveres under trial, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love Him. And so believers can earn a great deal of information through trials and hard times because we grow in our faith in those times. God doesn't want us to remain stagnant in our Christian growth. He wants us to continue to grow and deepen our relationship with Him. And so sometimes He brings us through these hard times to draw us closer to Him and cause us to grow in our faith. And, sometimes we experience anxiety, distress, and worry, and we have to turn to the Lord. And, that's what He wants. He wants us to turn to Him in those hard times. He doesn't want us to try to figure things out for ourselves. And in Philippians chapter 4, verses 6 through 7, Paul says, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. He wants you to give all your anxieties to Him. He wants you to lean on Him, and it's in those times that He's going to give you the strength that you need to get through those times if you are really and truly relying on Him. And Paul gives us another helpful piece of advice in Philippians 4, chapter 4, verse 8. He wants us to place our focus during hard times on whatever is true, noble, right, pure, lovely, admirable, excellent, and praiseworthy. And, so if you think about those things and you turn to God and you put everything in God's hands, and you set your heart and mind on the Lord and the blessings that you have and the blessings that you've been given in the past, it'll be easier to overcome those hard times as you recall the things that God has done for you, that He's taken care of you during those hard times. He doesn't want us to be stressed out and worried. He wants to carry us during those hard times, and those are the times when He wants us to really lean on Him. And if you guys remember Job in the Bible, he lost everything. Job lost all his adult children. He lost all his cattle. He experienced the destruction of his home. He was covered in sores from head to toe. And this wasn't including the fact that he didn't have any loyal friends, and his wife urged him to curse God and die. And this is in Job chapter 2, verse 9. But despite the hard times that Job was going through, he never blamed God. He never questioned God's goodness. He never doubted Him. He said, God might kill me, but I have no other hope. I am going to argue my case with Him. And that's the New Living Translation. And in the same way that Job trusted God, we need to trust God to get us through hard times, to teach us humility, to teach us to trust, to allow us to lean on Him. He wants only the best for us. And sometimes we try to blame Him for things that we're going through. We're like, why me? Why do I have to go through this? Why is this happening to me? And you have to keep in mind, as a believer of Christ, as a Christian, you have hope for the future. We're looking at an eternity with God, and what could be better than that? You're going to have good times and bad times and hard times, but ask God to help you. He might not take you out of the situation, but He'll give you peace. And that's in the Bible. That's in John chapter 14, verse 27. God's in control. He'll give us strength. He will be there for us during those hard times. And those are the times when He really wants us to grow in Him. So I haven't done one thing on this piece of paper, y'all. You know what? I'm not even gonna do this today. I just feel like somebody needed to hear that. Maybe I needed to hear it. Maybe somebody that's watching this video needed to hear it. But I feel like somebody needed to hear that God's going to get you through these hard times. And I believe that with all my heart. I've been through some hard times. I no doubt will continue to go through hard times. But I believe with all my heart that God is going to be there in those hard times. So, if you're battling with an illness, you're coping with loss, whether that be through death or by just a broken relationship, or a job loss, or any kind of loss, God He's never promised to take us out of those hard times, but He does promise to take our hand and walk with us through the valley of darkness. And that's Psalms 23:4. So lean on Him, my friends. If you need a prayer, please reach out to me and let me know, and I will add you to my prayer list. I do have to say that I missed an email from somebody last year, and I feel horrible, and I just saw it today. And I will be reaching out to that person. I feel absolutely terrible about it, because it was a pretty big loss, and she had asked for prayers. I'm not going to mention her name because I'm going to reach out to her privately, but y'all, say a prayer for people who have dealt with loss in the last year, who still continue to deal with loss. A lot of people have a really hard time bouncing back, and grief comes in stages. For anybody that's lost somebody, that it comes in waves. And some days you're really, really sad, and some days you can think about that person and think about the happy times. And sometimes, all you can do is cry because you miss them so much. But, a lot of people are going through things that you don't even know, because on the surface, they look like they're living the good life. They look like they have everything. Maybe you're jealous of them because you think they have everything, but you guys, you don't know what goes on behind closed doors. Let me tell you, I have met some people and gotten close to some people that you would never ever know by looking at them on the outside that they are struggling behind closed doors, that they are battling stuff that you couldn't even imagine, but they put on a brave face for people on the outside. And so you never know what somebody's going through. So whenever you get the chance, be kind to people. Give them a smile. Open the door for somebody. Let them go first in traffic. Give somebody something out of the kindness of your heart. There's 100 million different ways that you can be kind. And it doesn't cost you anything to be kind and to be gentle with people, because you have absolutely no idea what they're going through. And so that's my message for today. I just want you guys to think about it. I want you to, do something kind this week for somebody. Not because you want to come back to my channel and say, hey, I did something good, but because you did it. I don't need to know you did it, because God already knows. That's what I'm asking of you this week, you guys. Do something kind. Do a million kind things. Like, there's just think about how different the world would be if everybody was just kind and understanding and compassionate and empathetic. It would be a whole completely different world that we live in, you guys. But I believe we can do it. Do something every day that will inch you closer to a better tomorrow, to make your life better and to make the lives better of those around you. I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you all. Have a great evening.